Right now at noon, why people in Janesville say they don't want a data center to replace the old GM plant. Plus, how people in Jamaica are preparing for what some experts are calling the storm of the century. This is News 3 Now at noon. Thanks for joining us. I'm Josh Breiter. Right now, an investigation is underway after crews pulled a body from Delavan Lake. The town of Delavan's police department says just after 5 o'clock last night, the Walworth County Sheriff's Office received a report of a possible body in the water near South Shore Drive. First responders found and removed the body from the water. Police say they don't suspect foul play. The department hasn't released the person's name yet, but says they'll provide more information once it's available. And now here's a first look at your forecast with Jacob Montesano. Jacob?
Cloudy skies are expected to continue for the rest of the day. High temperatures will be in the middle to upper 50s. We are going to see those showers in southwest Wisconsin develop throughout the afternoon. And once they do develop, they are expected to continue during the evening and overnight. Now, Madison, along with areas to the east and north, not likely to see the rainfall, but southwest Wisconsin will see some scattered showers, mostly light to moderate. But again, these are going to continue into the overnight hours. So for those of you in Platteville, Prairie du Chien, could last for a few hours. Then it will completely clear out by the time we get to Wednesday at sunrise. Now, overall tonight, we are going to see low temperatures dropping into the lower 40s, upper 30s, so not quite as cold as some other nights. And then tomorrow, we're going to see skies become pretty sunny during the afternoon, but temperatures will be very similar. And I also want to mention further down south in the tropics, Hurricane Melissa is right now devastating Jamaica, and it is expected to continue and impact Cuba and then the Bahamas a little bit later in the week. So very scary situation down south, but I'll continue having more on our forecast and the Halloween forecast specifically coming up a bit later.
All right, Jacob, thank you. Right now, one person is dead after a crash in Prairie du Sac last night. This was on Highway 60 near the intersection of Ferry Bluff Road. Around 5:40, Sac County received a report of a two-car crash on the highway. The sheriff's office says a Subaru headed west was passing a semi when it entered the eastbound lane, striking a Ford sedan. The Subaru's driver went to the hospital. The Ford's driver died at the scene. The crash caused a road closure until just after 9 last night. The sheriff's office says the investigation into that crash is ongoing. The man charged with stalking Wisconsin Supreme Court Justice will be in court this afternoon. Ryan Thornton of Racine is charged with 1 count of stalking. A criminal complaint alleges Thornton sent emails to Justice Jill Karofsky accusing her of being manipulative, telling her to eject herself from office and asking for her home address. Capitol Police say Thornton was disgruntled with the lawyer who represented him in a 2019 strangulation and domestic abuse case in which a jury found him guilty. Looking ahead now, city leaders in Janesville are considering plans to bring a data center to the south side. They met in closed session to talk about the proposal last night. It would replace the former GM plant, which used to be the area's main employer. The city demolished the plant in 2018, and since then, the nearly 250-acre site has sat empty. During last night's meeting, people in Janesville expressed their concerns about the potential center, which they say could bring water, light, and noise pollution to the neighborhood.
It should be up to the people of Janesville to decide what goes in the GM site.
I think putting a data center in there is a step back, not a step forward. Water pollution, the light pollution from it being on 24/7, the noise pollution of the constant humming from all of the electronics and the HVAC system.
The next council meeting will take place November 10th. The Janesville protests came just days after people in Vienna expressed their anger over a canceled meeting that was meant to address their concerns about a proposed data center there. The company that made the proposal to Vienna, QTS Data Centers, is also approaching DeForest about a potential data center, though the village hasn't seen a formal offer yet. According to the Environmental and Energy Study Institute, data centers are accounting for more of the country's energy consumption, generating millions of tons of carbon emissions and have the potential to consume up to 5 million gallons of water per day. Meanwhile, one of the nation's largest private employers is making a major cut to its workforce. Amazon announced it's cutting 14,000 corporate jobs in its ongoing effort to slash costs. The tech giant says the cuts are just the latest in a long line of efforts to make Amazon more efficient and focused. Amazon has over 350,000 corporate employees. The move impacts about 4% of its staff. The company says it expects to continue hiring in other areas and will offer most employees 90 days to look for a new role internally. Let's take a live look now at the waters in Jamaica. They are preparing for devastation to infrastructure as Hurricane Melissa is nearing landfall at this hour. The Category 5 storm is one of the strongest Atlantic hurricanes in history. This hurricane has been extremely slow moving. Forecasters expected it to make landfall overnight, but it is still churning just south of the island. Jason Allen is in Kingston with how people there are preparing for the worst.
Pretty gusty, pretty windy.
Jamaica's shoreline is being overwhelmed with winds gusting more than 60 miles per hour, dangerous flooding, and storm surge projected up to 13 feet as Hurricane Melissa thrashes the island. Inside the storm Monday, hurricane hunters from NOAA were forced to abort their data collecting mission because of severe turbulence. This video shows what crews were able to capture before the scrapped flight. On the ground, mandatory evacuations forced hundreds into shelters.
We're all battened down and locked up. The thing that concerns us the most is mostly just the wind and the rain.
Those dangerous conditions closed Jamaica's airports when Melissa was approaching, leaving many vacationers stranded until the historic storm passes through the Caribbean.
We're trying to be as prepared as we can.
Bridget and Wayne Todd are in Jamaica on their honeymoon. The North Carolina couple has experienced hurricanes in the U.S. before, but say those are no match for Melissa.
We've never had one to this level. My biggest concern is really just the damage it'll do afterwards and us being stranded out here for possible weeks.
Yeah, when this storm just skirted by Haiti and the Dominican Republic, at least 4 people were killed. This one's going to make direct impact on Jamaica. And we know in the days leading up to the storm, the government has said already they know of 3 deaths that are related to this. That was mostly from people who were out cutting trees or trying to remove tree limbs. And there were many people injured falling off of rooftops in preparation for this storm. They are telling people right now, even in Kingston, where the wind is down and the rain is down right now, stay inside until this storm passes by the island. Jason Allen, CBS News in Kingston, Jamaica.
And breaking right now, Hurricane Melissa just officially made landfall here within the last few moments. We're going to continue monitoring updates on this hurricane right here on News 3 Now and channel3000.com. Coming up next on News 3 Now at noon, what cheese products are being recalled, plus how popular brand Lululemon is partnering with the National Football League.
Airport disruptions continued Monday around the U.S., with nearly 7,000 flights delayed, according to the website FlightAware. It's mostly due to staffing shortages, as essential employees like air traffic controllers miss work during the now 28-day federal government shutdown. Today, many essential airport workers are expected to miss their first full paychecks, with still no end in sight for the shutdown stalemate. Twin Sisters Creamery is voluntarily recalling batches of Whatcom Blue, Farmhouse, peppercorn, and mustard seed aged raw milk cheese products because they could contain E. coli. According to the Washington State Department of Health, at least 3 people there and in Oregon, including 1 child, have been sickened. Consumers who have the recalled products are urged to throw them away or return them to the place of purchase for a full refund. And the retailer best known for its high-end yoga pants, Lululemon, has partnered with the National Football League on an elevated apparel collection. The line includes clothing and accessories made for fans of all 32 NFL teams. The new collection is available now at NFLshop.com, Fanatics.com, and team and stadium retail locations. That's your CBS News Money Watch report. For more, log on to CBSMoneyWatch.com. At the CBS Broadcast Center, I'm Jesse Mitchell.
And here's a look at the stock report at the noon hour. The Dow is up 387 points, NASDAQ up 138, and the S&P 500 up this hour 18. Our Call for Action volunteers are in the building taking your consumer complaints and taking action on your behalf. Call for action at 608-270-2833 or submit a claim anytime at channel3000.com/call-for-action. Pam has today's farm numbers up next, and Jacob's tracking the first warn forecast. And later on, live at 4, I'll show you the Halloween tradition for a local bar and how you can be part of it in the 608. Jacob Montesano's here now with your first warn weather.
Here's a look at the 3 things you need to know. We'll see some showers today, mainly in southwest Wisconsin. And in general, we'll see seasonably cool temperatures going forward. Not too far off from normal, but this time of the year, any temperatures near normal are relatively cool. And no big rainfalls in the forecast either. Again, we'll see those showers today and some light rain at times during the 10-day forecast, but nothing extreme is expected. Now, as we take a look at tomorrow's forecast, once we see those clouds clear up, we're going to have high temperatures in the middle 50s and plenty of sunshine, so it will be dry, but we still got to get through the rain that is expected this afternoon and tonight. Now again, this is only going to impact parts of the area. Southwest Wisconsin will have the best chance of rain. The further east and north you're located, the less likely you will see that rainfall. And those of you near Platteville, Prairie du Chien, expected to see those showers begin this afternoon and continue into the evening and overnight, clearing out by around sunrise on Wednesday. Now let's continue forward and take a look at the Halloween forecast. Not expecting rain for Wednesday afternoon or Thursday, but we will see some cloudy skies throughout the day on Halloween, which will bring a very small chance of some isolated showers. Now, I don't expect to see anything much, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if none of our area sees any rainfall at all. So this is not expected to be a big widespread rain. But during trick-or-treating hours, don't be surprised if you see a few light sprinkles here and there will be a little bit better of a rain chance Friday night into Saturday. So looking specifically at the Halloween forecast, we'll see highs near 50, but 40s throughout trick-or-treating hours. So definitely chilly, but overall not too bad. And I say not too bad when comparing to some of the more recent Halloweens. Here's a look at the last 5. How about 2 years ago? The high was just 36, and we actually had some snow as well. And this 64 last year is actually a little misleading because it cooled down significantly for trick-or-treating hours with some very windy conditions, and we had some rain. And you don't have to go that far back, just 6 years to 2019, where we saw the snowiest Halloween. So not going to see any snow this year, and the high of 51 that we're forecasting for, very close to the average high, so expect very October-like conditions for Halloween, and also for the Packers game if you plan on attending it up in Green Bay. Both are going to feature mostly cloudy skies with temperatures in the 40s and a small chance of rain. Now looking at the full 10-day forecast, pretty quiet. We'll see temperatures dropping a little bit towards the end of the week, but for the most part, they're not going to stray too far away from the normal, which this time of year is in the middle to lower 50s, and the overnight averages are in the middle 30s. So again, very seasonable temperatures with just a few light showers here and there. Again, nothing too extreme rainfall-wise.
All right, Jacob, thank you. So we were hoping to catch Pam Yankee for the Midwest Farm Report, but she's running a little late getting back to the radio barn for her TV segment. So here are your farm numbers. Now let's see what Howard's up to in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
We're always creating new one-pot recipes here in the Test Kitchen because we love the convenience of only having one pot to wash. Plus, with one-pot meals, our whole dinner, the main dish and side dish, is ready for us at the same time. Can't beat that. All we have to do is mix together a can each of cream of mushroom and celery soup, and those can be low sodium, with some onion soup mix, water, a bit of garlic, a touch of fresh parsley, and a shake or two of Worcestershire sauce. To that, we add a cup of uncooked rice. Yep, uncooked. Give that a good mix, and into a baking dish it goes. We press some chicken pieces into the rice and finish it off with a bit of paprika. Now, the most budget-friendly way is probably to buy a whole chicken that's already cut up into pieces, but you can use all light or dark meat if you want. Cover it and bake it for an hour and 15 minutes or so. Even though you'll be tempted to open it, don't. It's the steam that cooks everything to perfection, so your family can sit down to a piping hot one-pot meal with a side dish already baked in. Just remember, the key is not to peek while it's cooking. That's why we call it Don't Peek Chicken. So what are you waiting for? The recipe's online, and this dish is just as good reheated the next day as it is the first time around. Of course, that's assuming you'll have any leftovers. I'm Howard from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where every day we're looking for an easier way for you to say, ooh, it's so good.
And back to that breaking news we brought you earlier in the broadcast. This is a live look at the waters in Jamaica, where Hurricane Melissa has officially made landfall as a Category 5 storm. We're talking winds of 185 miles per hour. Get this, Jamaica has never taken a hit from a Category 5. One UN agency is describing this as, quote, the storm of the century. Hurricane Melissa already responsible for at least 7 deaths, 3 in Jamaica during storm prep, 3 in Haiti, and 1 in the Dominican Republic. Just crazy video there. We'll continue to keep you updated on the hurricane throughout our newscast later today. And a reminder to receive updates on this story and all other breaking news directly to your phone. Just download our free Channel 3000 mobile app. Up next at noon, UW Health's Michelle Harnish on how the government shutdown is impacting SNAP benefits and where families can turn for help. Welcome back. UW Health Clinical Nutritionist Michelle Harnish is here, and today we're talking about the SNAP situation with the government shutdown and some resources out there. Within the last hour, the Senate failed to pass a bill to reopen the government, so this is something that people are talking about and what resources are out there.
Right. So first, it's important to just, if you have any benefits left from your October benefits, try to pivot and start thinking of shelf-stable foods, things that are frozen, things that are canned, things that you can buy in bulk and split up, proteins that you can put in the freezer that'll really help get you deeper into the month. But if you are finding that that's just not going to be enough and you need to maybe visit a food pantry, maybe for the first time ever, there are lots of places to turn to.
And it's important to talk about this because there are a lot of families that deal with this every single day.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's starting to be winter anyway, which is always kind of a tough time for food insecurity. And obviously with this change, with the benefits, at least for this month, you know, we need to be prepared. Fortunately, the food banks are really trying to do a good job of reducing the amount of paperwork, the amount of restrictions. So if people kind of anticipate there's going to be a lot of red tape if they go, it's really not that bad. They really just try to get you the food as soon as possible and as easily as possible.
And it's also a reminder for folks to donate when they can too.
Exactly. I think that, you know, you can go to Second Harvest is our Dane County kind of resource. You can donate directly to them. Obviously participating in any grocery store that is doing a fundraiser where you can just buy the food and leave it right there. That's the easiest way to contribute if you're lucky enough to be able to help.
You know, what kind of concerns are there for some of these folks that are looking into these things? Is there anything to be wary of?
The traditional reputation is a lot of it is kind of processed foods. They're not really all that healthy, but that's, again, something that they're really trying hard to change. So a lot of the food pantries will still have produce and fresh things available. Definitely try to get the whole grains, things with protein and fiber. It's going to help you fill the bellies a little bit better. If you stick with the processed foods, you're just not going to get as full. So even though it might look cheap on the front end, you really want to still look for the quality nutrition.
And that's the thing, is you want to get those things in every single day, because otherwise, what's the point? You know, it's really, especially for families out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so if you're looking for a place, like I said, the Second Harvest Food Bank is kind of the Dane County spot. There's also other resources that you can use. So you can call 211, which is an online phone service that they can help you connect with resources. Also, there's a foodfinder.us and findhelp.org are 2 other places that you can go and put in your zip code. They'll tell you where the food pantries are nearby. If you use other government resources, though, check with the Department of Health's website, because things like WIC are still going into November. So if there are multiple government agencies that may or may not be functioning the same way, so you definitely want to check if you're getting any of those benefits.
All right. Well, Michelle, thank you so much for your help today. We appreciate it. And now here's Jacob with a final check of your forecast.
Cloudy skies are expected to continue for the rest of the day. High temperatures will be in the middle to upper 50s. We are going to see those showers in southwest Wisconsin develop throughout the afternoon. And once they do develop, they are expected to continue during the evening and overnight. Now, Madison, along with areas to the east and north, not likely to see the rainfall, but southwest Wisconsin will see some scattered showers, mostly light to moderate. But again, these are going to continue into the overnight hours. So for those of you in Platteville, Prairie du Chien, could last for a few hours. Then it will completely clear out by the time we get to Wednesday. Wednesday at sunrise. Now, overall tonight, we are going to see low temperatures dropping into the lower 40s, upper 30s, so not quite as cold as some other nights. And then tomorrow, we're going to see skies become pretty sunny during the afternoon, but temperatures will be very similar. And I also want to mention further down south in the tropics, Hurricane Melissa is right now devastating Jamaica, and it is expected to continue and impact Cuba and then the Bahamas a little bit later in the week. So very scary situation down south, but I'll continue having more on our forecast and the Halloween forecast specifically coming up a bit later.
Coming up next is The Bold and the Beautiful. Our next newscast is live at 4. And a reminder, you can always